So, there's a couple mechanics you have to worry about. The crystal and barrage. That red shit that comes, if it is targeting you, you turn to your right and you run. If it is not targeting you, don't stand in it. Well, don't necessarily turn to your right. It depends on which way you're facing. But you run to the right of the group.
Well, it's more a matter of run toward the boss until you're about to hit the shit that's coming towards you, and then turn right. That's more important later on, as there's multiples of them. You've got to leave room behind you for the people whose reaction wasn't quite as fast as yours.
True. But the other part of that is, if there's red shit on the ground coming towards you, take a few steps back. I don't care if you've got some elite DPS going on, or you're trying to get off that one last amazing heal, take a few steps back. Now, the other big thing that we have to worry about as a group is a big giant swirly on the ground. That's going to shoot up a stone pillar, which will kill anybody it hits. We are simply shifting off about as far as I just shifted right there. Like, if we pretend this green circle is the swirly, I'm not that far off, but this is why stacking is so important, because I'm shifting it so that we get our pillars as close together as possible, because they block line of sight and do all sorts of nasty shit. That being said, once we start getting those pillars up, we have to make sure we're running around them and not dragging the red stuff through the group. For the first phase, we have to deal with ads and Tectus. The most important ad to deal with is the little ad. He gives Tectus a nice buff. If he gets his cast off, the way to block his cast is to stun him, I believe. Am I correct?
Correct.
Yes.
Okay.
Or, if all range focuses on him, we burn his ass down before he even has a chance to cast.
Okay, yep. The little guy is the most important. The big guy is important, but he mostly just wallops on the group, but we still want to get him killed because he hits pretty hard. The only time we can bring Tectus to 0 health is when he's slamming on the ground. And he does that when his energy bar reaches the top. If we kill him during that time, he falls down, we finish off the ads, and he breaks into 2 pieces. These 2 pieces have the exact same abilities that he does. So now we no longer have to deal with ads, but we have to deal with Tectus' mechanics twice as much. And then we burn down one of those 2 pieces, it falls down and breaks into 4 pieces. And that's when shit gets crazy. We try to follow the mechanics as best we can at that point, but there is a bit of an every man for themselves. By the time we reach that point, your number 1 job is don't stand in shit. As healers, we're going to be trying to heal you as best we can. If you're standing in shit or getting hit by pillars, we make no guarantees. Also, another thing to worry about is line of sight. You might be sitting there thinking, oh, I'm good. I'm not standing in anything, but you've got 3 pillars around you, and you've got a nice window to the boss, but nobody's got a nice window to you. We can't see you. We're not going to be able to heal you. Once we've taken care of the 4 guys, we're back down to having just 1 Tectus up. We kill it. It breaks into 4 pieces. Once we've killed them, then we're good. Each one of the pieces works just like regular Tectus does. Can only be killed when they're slamming the ground. Basically, this fight starts off relatively organized and then just gets hairy. Anybody have any questions?
Lust.
Nope.
We lust when we've got the first set of 4. So when we've got a total of 5 Tectuses out.
Gotcha.
When we have more than one Tectus, can we mark the main target?
Yes, we can. Do you want me to do that, or should one of the tanks do that?
I don't really... It's up to you
Okay.
guys.
I'll pick one and mark.
And Sticks,
Yes.
there are times where you get really too close to the boss when we move.
Then somebody please yell at me.
So I have permission to yell at you?
Yes.
Yes.
About that, you do have permission to yell at me.
Yay!
Yell at him all the time. I don't give a shit.
Oh hell.
Oh, if David doesn't give a shit. If David doesn't give a shit, then I'm excited.
David doesn't give a shit about anything.
That's not
That's
true.
not true.
Okay, he does give a shit about how short you are.
And he gives
Wait,
a shit
what?
about whether I like him or not.
And cock holsters.
Only Michelle's cock holster.
Yes, he does give a shit about his cock
That's what I
holster.
care.
I'm gonna be grounded tonight. I already know it.
But I do want to emphasize that all range needs to focus on that Earth Wrapper, because the sooner we get him down, he's not going to give that damn buff to him. And the buff isn't going to affect him as much in this big state as when he breaks up into all the groups, and when you've got all 4 little ads and they've all got like 20% buff in speed and attack power, then it's going to get really nasty.
Tectus just scratched his face.
He had an itch. Don't judge.
Better
not
than
judging.
scratching his ass.
True. Which boss scratched their ass all the time?
The bubble dude.